Welcome to STC Chats. I'm Nicholas Amato, a full-time realtor on Long Island. I'm also an entrepreneur, a husband, and a father. In this podcast, we're going to be chatting with top professionals, influencers, and entrepreneurs to uncover what true success is. The journey, the mindset, and living life on your terms. So whether you are seeking your own version of success or looking for motivation and inspiration, join the conversation. Thank you for joining the conversation at STC Chats. I'm your host, Nicholas Amato. And while real estate is my career, it is also my passion. I'm especially excited today to have with us Ashley Farrell, a powerhouse broker at Corcoran and a true leader in the Westhampton Beach market. Since stepping into real estate in 2014, Ashley has quickly risen to the top, earning the title of #1 producer at Corcoran in Westhampton Beach every year from 2018 to 2024. She ranks among the top 500 agents nationwide out of 50,000 plus agents at Realogy, placing her in an elite class of professionals. With over 290 million in career sales, she holds records for the second highest sale in Westhampton and third highest in Quogue and East Quogue. Her success extends beyond sales. She's also a dominant force in the rental market with over 15 million in rental transactions. Ashley consistently ranks among top 200 agents in New York State and America's best agents, and often a monthly top 10 Corcoran producer in the Hamptons and a proud member of Corcoran's multi-million-dollar club. A third-generation Westhampton Beach resident, Ashley offers a deep local expertise and full-service approach that makes her a go-to resource for buyers, sellers, and renters. Beyond real estate, Ashley is deeply involved in her community, volunteering at Bidewee Animal Shelter, supporting the Westhampton Beach Historical Society, and serving as a former chairwoman of East End Hospice and Family Counseling Services. A four-time Westhampton Country Club singles tennis champion, she resides in Remsenburg with her husband and her beloved rescue dog, Sammy. Today, we'll dive into Ashley's journey, her take on the current market, trends shaping the Hamptons, and how she balances it all. Ashley, thank you for making the time to join us. Your immediate yes to coming onto this podcast speaks volumes about your character, and I'm thrilled to have you here.
Thanks for having me. What an introduction.
A little bit of tongue twisters on some of that stuff, but I mean,
All
it's
good.
huge success. So congratulations on all your achievements. Right. So we just did the awards for Corcoran Awards. That was 2024, right? You hit the
Yes.
#1 spot again. Are
Yes.
you going to be
Very
Corcoran?
excited. I'm not going to be
Oh, you're
Corcoran,
not.
no.
I thought you were
I
gonna go.
uh I am in Tampa. I'm in Tampa,
Okay.
Florida. So I have just started. I have had my Florida license for a while, but I've just transitioned to Tampa. So I'm down here for the next couple of weeks.
So you're looking to take on both Tampa now. That's you can do it. That's
I
challenging,
know
but that's
I'm
great.
very excited
I'm
because who
seeing it
doesn't want a
often too.
Hamptons house? Who doesn't want a Hamptons house and a house in Florida for the winter? It's the best of
Yeah.
both worlds.
I feel like also it's a good opportunity, like as you're, like one, like it's almost like your retirement policy too, right? Like you can eventually just move your
Yes.
you move your business there. Anyway, let's
Yes.
I want to hear I never actually spoke to you about this. How did you get started with real estate?
So I graduated college a semester early, and I thought, okay, great. I'm gonna get ahead of everybody. I'm gonna jump into just a traditional job. I ended up being a recruiter. I was an IT recruiter. I had some experience in financial recruiting, and I thought that that was just going to be the greatest thing. And I was there for about a month. It was absolutely awful. The pay was terrible. The hours were terrible. The clients were terrible. Everything was just not what I expected it to be. So I I had a couple of months until the rest of my peers graduated. So I thought, okay, I can probably play around and have a little bit of time before I feel like I'm going to be behind. Let's just get a license. What license can I get? And I got my real estate license, and so I'll try this. So here we are 11 years later, and I'm still trying new things.
It's funny because like I've been doing this for like 13 years, and when we started, it was like you kind of like fall into it, but now it's like this big glorified thing that's almost like people are like, yeah, I'm going to be a real estate agent.
Yes,
Right?
I
Like
never thought I was going to be a real estate agent.
right, right. And you were in sales a little bit, I guess. I mean, was that
Yeah.
commission based? I mean, 1 month. I mean, so you went to college, you tried this one thing, and then it didn't work out, and then you basically you jumped right into it and just full steam ahead.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things where, you've never had a real job before at 21 years old and you get the job offer and everything looks great. I mean, rose colored glasses, right? Everything looked perfect. It was a dream until you actually got there.
Right. What were some of the challenges? I mean, we're going back a couple of years now, but what was some of the challenges when you first started becoming, going into breaking into, was it Westhampton automatically, or were you in a different
Yep.
market?
I was in Westhampton, started in Westhampton at a mom and pop. And I think the hardest part about getting started is getting started. You say you want to be a real estate agent, but what does that mean? You need clients. In order to be a real estate agent, you have to have
Yeah.
people that will work with you. And that doesn't happen overnight. So not buying, but finding people's trust and making sure that they know that you're a real estate agent in their town and connecting with them, it takes some time.
And you're third generation in that area, so I guess you tackled into your sphere to begin with, right?
Yes, and even today, again, a long time later, I sell houses. I just sold one last month to somebody whose kids I used to babysit, and their kids are now in college. So it's a really a full circle. So, if you're young and you're a waitress at a restaurant at 13 and you're the mother's helper at 15 and all of that, like you never know those people what they'll do in your career and how you guys will be intertwined in the future.
Right. And it's funny, with you, you always stand there because I always see the Corcoran emails and like, well, I'm always watching you on social media, but it's really fascinating how, that's why I wanted you on the podcast because I'm like, I don't know how she does it. Like I do like you do sales and rentals. And I mean, you're doing
Yep.
volume. You're literally doing volume. So I guess my first question would be really, what are you sensing as far as the market? Like we could do sales, we could do rentals, but what do the buyers or the renters want? That's the first question, and then we'll jump to the next
Hmm.
thing.
What are the all right? What are the buyer? Well, the buyers just want something. The buyers want anything. The buyers want a break. They
Right.
they want
The pent
they
up.
want they want a house. And God, it's really across the board. I mean, under a million, forget about it. It's just
Right.
so tough. It's the rat race. It's just dog eat dog out there. But even, I mean, under 3 million, it's tough. There's not a lot of inventory. Then you want to get into the ultra high end market and go 5 to 10 or even above 10. There's just not a lot out there. You can have tons of money and you can say, I really don't even have a budget, and there still might
Still,
not be
yeah.
something for you.
Because it's funny because I do like Watermill and Watermill South and Southampton Village, but I don't really touch your market.
Sure.
But I see it in like I mostly primarily do a lot in Long Island, like Nat. Well, Hamptons is Long Island. I'm like guilty of
Right. No, I understand.
like like you do the same thing, but Hamptons is Long Island if anyone's
Yep.
listening. But I'm seeing the same. So you're seeing basically the same like pent up like buyer demand. There's just not enough inventory. How long is stuff sitting on the market? Like I could ask any agent, but like when I ask you, I'm paying attention to you because you're doing the volumes. Like if you have one agent that's working one buyer, oh, I can't find anything, but you really have your pulse on the market. So is when things are going on the market, are they moving very quickly or just a lot faster than what they would be, let's say pre-COVID?
It depends. I mean, not
The
everything is
price
priced
right.
right. Yeah, not everything's priced right. And if I'm in the seat, well, I mean, first of all, we all know like the first 2 weeks are your biggest activity. The first 30 days are very important. But am I in panic mode if I don't have an offer after 30 days? No, because we do sell homes that are very expensive and they're also not primary residences. So it's seasonal, it's when somebody can get out there, it's all of that. But if somebody doesn't have activity and a couple of offers, at least one offer within 3 months, you're probably priced too high. You
Right.
have some type of barrier that people can't get around. So I would say things are moving, things are going into contract in under 3 months. And if you're on the market longer, which I have some that are, I know the answer. I know the answer is price.
It's wild when you see because you like pre-COVID, it wouldn't be unheard of for something to be on the market for like 6 months or even a
Oh
year.
my God. Yeah, even a year. I mean, you'd
Yeah.
say, oh, hopefully 6 to 8 months will, yeah,
And you're
no,
hoping you
not
get
like
like
that
one or
anymore.
two buyers, like, and you just hold
Right,
on
right.
to it. Now it's like, yes. And then as far as the rental market, which I still don't know how you do both, but you do it. Because well, do you prefer rentals or sales? Like, what do you prefer, or it's all just one? It doesn't matter.
I think there are pros and cons to both. I don't
Yeah.
mind doing either. I really. I don't have a preference. I do them both and I like them both. So this is my 11th year. I've been doing rentals the entire time. And in the beginning, I got a lot more calls and a lot more emergencies, and I didn't handle it well in the beginning, meaning before the tenant moved in. But now the tenant and the landlord have each other's contact information. God forbid there's an emergency. The tenant has the electrician's number, the plumber's number, or the property manager's number. Because if you call me and tell me something's flooding or the fuse burst, I don't know where the water
Right.
hookup is in any house I represent. I know where it is in my house. I don't know where it is in anybody's house. I don't know
Right.
where the fuse box is. I don't know how to reset the Wi-Fi.
The rental market, like what are you seeing with has the rental market in your area, has it picked up? Has it like slowed? Like what's going, are they trying to secure it a little bit earlier? Are they waiting it out? Because sometimes you get those be like, oh well, we'll just wait and see and
Right.
then try to get a better deal, or they're just panicking and they want to secure something right away. Because if the inventory is low, I imagine, I'm speculating here, I imagine if the inventory is low, the rental market's probably picking up a little because they want to find something.
So this year, rentals really didn't start until after the first of the year. We haven't seen that in the last couple of years. They've started in September, in October. It was a very, very slow quarter 4 for rentals going into 2025, but it makes a ton of sense because it was an election year and people wanted to wait and see how the election was going to pan out and then decide how the election was going to affect them personally and financially. We saw a big pickup in January, and then I also believe so. Bonuses in most industries are paid out in February, but a lot of my clients learn what their bonus is going to be before February. So, right around when they were learning when their bonuses were, call it end of January, middle of January, that's when inquiries started to pick up. But there is more inventory on the rental market than on the sale market. It's a renter's market more than a landlord's market.
What are you seeing as far as like, because you deal with a lot of new constructions too, and I
Mm-hmm.
imagine you're dealing with buyers too. You're not just taking listings, you're working with
Yeah,
buyers. What are you seeing as far as trends? Like as far as
in new construction,
styles?
the cold plunge, the
Yeah.
saunas, it's a wellness era.
Right, right.
Um,
It's
so a
evolved.
big wellness, yeah, exactly, big wellness area. And if it's a spec house, builders aren't putting things in like saunas and cold plunges and all that, but they are making space for those things to be added after, because you can't predict. I mean, I don't know how many people want a cold plunge pool. Is it 50, is it even 50%? I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if everybody wants a sauna, but being able to have the room for it, usually if, okay, look at this basement, there's already plumbing here and we have the egress window, and oh, you love wine? Great. Here's a wall where you can do a wine cellar. But what are the trends that builders are doing in spec? I would say, you've probably seen it. Have you seen the black trim windows instead of the
Yeah,
white
yeah.
trim?
That's still going.
That's still going. I think it's on the end. I think
Yeah.
that's at the end of the phase. Light wood floors, very wide plank, white hardwood, white oak hardwood floors. Um,
What about the
Still, yeah.
sorry. Like
No, go.
the white, I one of the first, remember I was like, I don't know where I met you in the we were doing like a Corcoran photo shoot or something, and you
Yeah.
offering your house like I still like it. I want, are you still seeing that, like the white kitchen appliances?
That's funny. I know exactly what house you're talking about. That was new construction when you were in it.
Yeah.
That's the only house. So that those are cafe appliances,
Right.
GE Cafe, and they are white with the gold hardware.
Right.
I have not seen it anywhere
I've
else.
seen them. I've seen them,
It
but
works really well in that house, but
it's bold.
it's super bold, because if that goes out of style or you want to change it, it's not like a
Yeah.
paint color. That's a big expense. I mean, how much is an entire kitchen of
Right.
appliances? So
Yeah.
I know I haven't seen it before.
The other thing is also like, I mean, the builders are sticking with white neutral colors, but
Yeah,
you're looking at some of these houses that are really start like when people buy the house, then when they start watching what they're painting, you're seeing like more natural, not white, like for
I
especially for the
agree.
kitchen cabinets. Like, but
I
it
agree.
hasn't transitioned to the point where builders are doing it.
Yes. I would say the kind of beige,
Right.
creams, tans, they're coming back, which I like.
Yeah.
I recently redid my kitchen. I did white cabinets, but my countertop has a little bit more of a tan
Right.
beige. My floors are tan. It's a little bit of PTSD though, as a person who was a kid in like the late 90s, early 2000s, because I
Yeah.
think back to my mom's kitchen, it was like cream and it had
Yeah.
roosters everywhere. Like there was like the rooster phase on top of the cabinets, all these ceramic roosters.
Yeah.
We can't get back into like the yellowy creams. We can't go
It's funny how, I mean, that's with all trends, fashion, everything. It's like everything comes
there.
back a little. You have to see that. I
Yeah.
have this listing in Roslyn Estates. I gotta I gotta send it to you later. Um, it went really quick, like really, like I put it on the market on Sunday. No, I put it on the market on Thursday. I did the open house on Sunday, and then Monday came and it was like 28 offers and like multiple offers. It was insane. I actually had to shut it down, like taking it off the market because
Yeah.
there's only one buyer. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is the house was renovated in 2000 and it has like a 70s and 80s vibe to it. And it's first off, it's tough to price because you're like, you either love it or you're gutting the whole thing.
Yep.
But it's funny. Like like 5 years ago, if I looked, I was like, oh, this is horrible. But now it's like, oh, maybe this is starting to come back. So you just never know what's trending.
There's something about nostalgia that makes people feel good.
Yeah.
It just makes people feel comfortable. And some of that is nostalgia.
That's well said, well said. So for the rental market, and then we're going to talk about like, your successful career, how you imagine all that stuff. But I want to like just tap into that a little bit more. Right, so we kind of tackled what like sellers are looking, builders, what they're doing. They're kind of staying neutral, safe grounds, which that's what you
Yeah.
want to do. What are the renters looking for anything specific or same thing as a buyers? They just want a house or like, obviously pool's kind of like a must have if you're renting in the
Yeah.
Hamptons. But is there
Pools a
anything
must
else?
have. I mean, location, 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 and no matter what we're talking about, close to
Right.
town, close to the beach. But more so than that, there's a distinct difference between people who are really renting an investment property and people that are renting their home. And people who are renting their home have a tougher time because it doesn't feel like a hotel. When you go and rent somebody's house, you don't want to see pictures of them and their kids on vacation and their used olive oil in the pantry and the shampoo. Like you want to go in and kind of feel like you're at a really nice hotel. But these people, I mean, for rentals for a month, you're probably not paying less than $25,000 on the low end.
Right.
So you want to feel like you're at a hotel, at a resort.
So I guess you most of the that's what you're really looking for when you're listing a rental
Decluttered.
is declutter. And it's like the same, basically, well, the same thing you do when you're like getting the house
The
ready for
exact same thing.
photographs, like just, soak dishes off, like declutter. But when
Yes.
you're selling a house, you could keep the pictures, but I guess when you're renting, it has to
Yes.
be, so, they lock it all in a room, right? They find
Yeah,
a
I mean,
room, lock it.
imagine, okay, imagine going to a hotel and somebody went to Target and they got 15 stock photos and they're all around your hotel and you
Right.
have no idea who the hell the
Weird.
people are and you're just staring at them.
Right.
Or the people that have um, portraits of their children that are
Right.
painted on the walls. I've seen that a couple of times. You want to sleep in a hotel room like that? I
Yeah.
don't. I don't
No.
even know these people.
Yeah, that's interesting. One thing I also want to talk about is how do you manage it? Like, how do you manage and stay organized? Like, it's Ashley Farrell. Is there a team behind you? I mean, Corcoran has a great support staff, but at a certain point, it's like you got to do the showings. You got to like, in the Hamptons, especially, you pretty much have to be at every showing. Someone has to
Yep.
be there to open the door and manage it. So, how do you manage that?
Yeah, like you said, somebody's got to be there. I mean, there are no lock boxes, there are no leaving keys. I do have, and I've been lucky enough to I've been doing this for 11 years, so there are people come and go, but I've been lucky enough to have people next to me who work with me and really help me out with showings and with anything that we need. And we're a good collaborative group. I am. I don't know if it's left brain, right brain. I don't know which one it is, but I am the more kind of like I lack creation, I lack creativity, all of that, but I can do all the organization, all the, everything that needs to be boom, 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 boom. Then one of my partners is so creative, like almost graphic design creative, can do all of that stuff. She's phenomenal. Then I've got a Gen Zer who, thinks totally different than
Right.
we do. So it's really nice to have people that are of all different generations and all different skill sets.
Right. So I guess really that you're basically the answer to the question is you're very organized and you have a team behind you to handle everything.
Organization is my superpower. I mean,
Yeah.
it's borderline OCD, but in the best way possible.
Do you get being that you're organized, like I mean, besides so like anxiety is always the thing that it's like everybody openly talks about it, but I mean, um it's got to be overwhelming though, right? Because if you're organized and you have to, or you're organized from the start to the very finish, or it's
There's
as it's going.
nothing there is nothing in my life that's disorganized. I have to be. I don't own a junk drawer in my house. You will not open a drawer or a cabinet or something that
Not
is
even
not
the nightstand drawer, the first drawer,
no.
like
The nightstand drawer has little like containers, like little cubbies for here's
yeah,
the chapstick, here's the I I have to be organized physically in
right.
order for my brain to be organized. And when I am organized and when I am clean, my stress level is low. So I that is just what I need and that's what I do. And I keep up with it. I don't let things pile up on my desk and oh I'll get to that or I do that on Fridays or I do that at the end of the month. No, I just do it as it comes in. And that helps me.
So how do you because you're juggling a lot, right? Um the amount I'm talking about how busy you are, I feel like someone's gonna Google you and be like, "Geez, she does do a lot of rental." Because it's because we listen. There's all different types of agents, right? There's some agents that are mainly do rentals and they're building up their business, or they focus on rentals and they just haven't branched out. And then there's some agents that are just taking these monster listings and it's great and that's like their niche. But I feel like you're very me and you probably operate similar as far as the volume goes, meaning like we're just, tackling everything we're doing. How do you step away from that? Like what do you do to like hobbies or like how do you shut your brain? Do you shut your brain off? I mean, you have to find something to shut your brain off, right? To like
Right.
refresh. Otherwise you get burnout by like the seventh day, eighth day of just going nonstop. I do it.
So
It
true.
happens to me.
So true. I every Saturday night I go to dinner. I on the weekends I'm very specific with when I really will answer. Like I'll answer later in the morning, maybe not before 9:30 or 10. I don't need to be on at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. Your question can wait. And I also don't need to be working past 6 p.m. on a Saturday. I think setting boundaries is huge. And there is nothing, despite what people think, there is absolutely nothing that is an emergency in real estate. Your house is on fire.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm not a fireman. I can't put it out. You got to call 911.
Right.
So there is nothing in real estate that needs immediate attention. So when you say, okay, I'm gonna go. I mean, listen, I've been on phone calls at 11 p.m. during the week. It is what it is. But I give myself some grace on the weekends, especially when I want to go out to dinner with my husband, have some
Right.
glass of wine. But I also read every night. I'm
Oh,
a
that's yeah.
big, oh, I know we've talked
Yeah,
about this. I'm a
yeah.
big reader.
But you're
And
reading
that,
like novels, right? Like you're
as
reading
opposed to what?
no,
As
no,
opposed to
like see,
children's
like I'm
books?
reading like me when I read, I'm reading like it's no, it's great. I wish I
Oh
could read the
God,
novels.
are you reading about work? Are you
Like
like
anything
reading
that's like gonna put
self-improvement?
me like this. Yes, it's
No,
yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
a break.
I
That is
know. That's what
not a
I'm saying. So
break.
like I wouldn't consider that I don't consider that a break. So
Oh,
what you're
okay.
saying does
That's not a
consider a
break. No,
break.
mine is like anything like fantasy, romance,
Right.
horror, mystery. I love like a who done it. That really takes my brain away because I'm focused on, all right, well, who killed her and
Oh,
why?
like the mysteries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's where I'll look into like the documentaries too. But
Yes.
so did you always read or like was this like evolved
Yes.
as really?
No, I've always been a huge reader, and God bless my parents. I have the best parents, and I was obsessed with reading as a young kid. And one of my fourth grade teacher had this series by Eleanor Estes, and she's an author who had passed away even when I was in
Right.
fourth grade. And she had all of these out of print books, and I wanted to read every single one. And maybe she wrote 30, and 10 of
Right.
them were out of print, but they were out of print and like $100 in the 90s. And
Right.
my parents were like, okay, we're going to support this passion of yours, and they got me the whole thing by Eleanor Estes, and I've always loved to
So,
read.
so being that you're an avid reader and you're organized, what the hell do you do with the books? Like,
Oh, I keep them.
do you
Well,
do?
so if they are my own ranking, 1 through 5 stars, if they are 4 or 5 stars, I keep them. If they're under that, I'll put them on Instagram or send them to friends and say who wants these, and then just ship them all over. And I have like built-in bookcases that I display them. I want to have like a library.
I'm
Every
not.
reader's dream.
I I have I literally could ask you a million questions about this, but I'm not gonna
About
because
reading?
yeah, but about reading. But I'm gonna ask one more question. Are you a rereader? Like, will you reread the
No.
books? Okay, all right.
I have reread two books ever in my life.
Okay, all right, because that's pretty,
No, there's so many books. How can you reread? You're
yeah.
never going to get through
And
all the
how much
books
are
you
you
want to
really
read in a
retaining
lifetime.
too? But I guess it's also you like the experience of reading too.
Yeah.
Um, you read it with like a glass of wine or coffee or like
No, like in
just
in bed
just
at night, like
just
super late night, just sit there. I'm kind of still like a kid, like with my
like you
little
got the light reader on and
And it's
around.
what I used to do
My
as a
wife
kid. I
got
used
me
to have a
something around my
flashlight.
neck.
Yes, I've
Like
had that. Yep.
yeah. Okay, so the reading and then I know you golf too and you play tennis. Like, does that
Yep.
that's probably very good. Well, golf has been great for my business. And I'm a terrible golfer, but it almost
And
like
we've
helped.
golfed.
Yeah,
We've
yeah,
golfed
we've
together.
golfed together. Yeah, well, of course she's like, you are a great golfer, which is like not surprising
Thank
at
you.
all. Like that's all I need is like for my confidence level to play with you. That's killing it and just dominating me on the course. But it is what it is. Um, so do you do that? Like you golf a lot, or like in
Yeah.
does that
Yep.
because that doesn't shut my brain off? That doesn't. But does that like you're able to
It
shut it
doesn't.
off?
Tennis shuts my
Tennis
brain off
does.
because that's faster pace. You got to be paying attention.
Right.
Um, Golf doesn't, especially depending on who you're playing with,
Right.
because it oftentimes. I mean, I play golf and tennis because I like golf and tennis. I like sports, but don't get me wrong. It is a great place to do business, and it's a great way to meet people. And a lot of my clients come from
Right.
that. So I don't allow myself to feel guilty for going and playing tennis and going and playing golf, thinking that I'm off
Right.
when I can point to a ton of opportunities that have come from those sports.
Right. That's why it's hard to pull like to shut your brain off too, because it's almost like we've been conditioned like in society, like, oh, golf is good for business. So you don't like, you don't
Well,
really
everything you do as a real estate
right.
agent
Which a business of
is,
relationships.
yeah, it can be tied back to your business. You just never know.
Right. So all right. So reading is like the thing that kind of shuts your brain off. Do you,
Yeah,
do
I
you, do
would
you
say
watch
reading or
Netflix
like
or no? Or like you're just a
I'm
reader?
not a huge movie and TV person. My guilty pleasure is just reality TV, just absolute
Like Love
trash.
Island. My wife loves Love Island, and I
Not
can't
Love
get into
Island,
it.
like uh The Housewives,
Oh yeah.
Love is Blind, where they meet through a wall. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
nuts. It's trash. I love
Yeah. I still can't get into it. I don't know. I walk in the room and I
it.
walk out.
Yeah,
Um,
right?
it's just yeah. So it sounds like you have boundaries really, and you can
I
actually
do.
shut it off like you're like a machine. It's a little crazy, but you know.
I try to the boundaries that I expect, I do try to employ with other people. If I'm trying to get in touch with my painter, my landscaper, or someone who is going to do something for me, a hairdresser, I try not to be texting and calling people past a certain hour of the day, depending on what day it is, or before a certain hour. I'll even wait to send an email until the next day in case that person's like me and has their phone, and then at 11:30 they're like, oh God, now I'm not going to sleep because I got this email about whatever. I try for the whole like treat others how you want to be treated type of
Yeah.
thing.
So let's talk about Westhampton Beach because that's like kind of your that's like
It's
your
my
right. Would
place.
you say like what are your towns that you would really like? You service all parts of the Hamptons, but like is it Westhampton Beach is pretty much if you were to narrow it down like where you get percentage, not to put you in a category here, but just to like because I want to talk about
Right.
like right. So it's Westhampton Beach.
Yeah, Westhampton Beach, Remsenburg. I mean, also for people who may not be familiar with the Hamptons, Westhampton Beach, and Remsenburg are probably a total of 7 miles to
Right.
all of them put together. So certainly that's not the only area I work in, but it is where I grew up. And like you had mentioned, I am third generation there, so that's
Yeah.
where I know the most people. But
Right.
I'm usually Mauritius to Southampton. I don't go any east of Southampton because it can be really far, especially in the summer.
So let's say, right. So let's say, no one's ever gone there before, right? Like they've never
Okay.
been there and they just hear the Hamptons, whether it's Instagram or whatever, and they call you up and they say, I'm spending the weekend there, you know. what if I wanted the full experience, doesn't have to, it could be 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever. What would you recommend for someone to really catch the vibe and everything like that?
That's such a hard question. And it's a question that
Loaded.
people ask me but if people ask all the time.
Yeah.
People who aren't from up there, like friends of mine, oh, where should I go in the Hamptons? I've never been to the Hamptons. Where should I go? Oh gosh, I don't know. Like, do you want to be like see and be seen and do the celebrity thing and have all the shopping? Okay, go to East Hampton. Do you want like a little bit less of the see and be seen, but still some shopping, great restaurants, and you want to be closer to the airports in the city? Go to Southampton.
Yeah.
Do you want to be totally off the radar and you don't want to have any type of celebrity, any of that? And
Like a
there's
real
plenty of celebrities,
vacation. Like a
right? There's plenty
let's
of
I'll
celebrities to
narrow
be
it down. Let me
seen.
set you up a little bit better. For Westhampton Beach,
Yeah.
you're going, it's like a, you know, not looking to party or anything like that. Like literally just enjoying it, getting the experience, being the time to take it in at like a slow pace, the beach, you know, bagel place, you know, just, you know, all that stuff.
So Main Street's about a half a mile long. I mean, I think you come into Westhampton Beach, and there's a couple places you really got to hit. So you go to Main Street. Where are you doing breakfast? Gosh, I don't even know because I don't really eat breakfast. So I
Yeah.
don't even have a breakfast place for you. You're probably going to Hampton Coffee if you're a big coffee person. You could be going to Goldberg's
Well,
Bagels.
I was thinking
Um,
Goldberg's, but yeah.
yes, you could be going to Goldberg's, but it's a pretty penny to go to Goldberg's. I
Yeah.
For that reason I don't go to Goldberg's because I don't like being price
Yeah.
gouged. But you got to check out Island Surf, which is like the local surf shop that sells the sweatshirts that say Westhampton. There's an like freestanding sweatshirt shop that everybody goes to because you want to be able to say I went to the Hamptons. You got to show people you got your
Right.
hat and your sweatshirt, and then I think you have to go to the beach. Obviously, that's what the Hamptons is known for. And you're coming off the beach and you're going to John Scott's. You're going to our
What
surf
beach?
shack.
What beach would you say?
So it depends on everything you have to have a pass for. So it's totally going to depend on where you're staying and how you can get your pass because everything is a semi-private beach.
Right.
Unless you're going to Cupsog, which I think you can be a Suffolk County resident and go to Cupsog.
Right.
But if you're coming from out of town, a lot of the hotels help with that. And then rentals, it just depends on which municipality you're renting in, and you can get your permit. But there's tons of beaches.
Yeah, it's there's so much to choose from in the Hamptons. It's just like it's really a tough question to answer. But you did a good job doing that.
You got to go to the beach. You got to go to John Scott's, which is the local surf shack right on the water. You can go. Basically, you're going to need shorts, flip flops, and a shirt. You're going to go in
Right.
Monday nights. You're going to get what is it, dollar 50 cent wing night, dollar. I don't know. Inflation, they
Right.
keep going up, but whatever they are, I'll pay for them. They're so good.
Right.
And there's just a lot of things like Dockers on the Water, which is this beautiful, picturesque. Like if you ever seen what we were talking about, Summer House,
Yeah.
they always do filmings at Dockers. That's very Hamptons. It's on Dune Road, so you just got to do pop around to some of those local
Yeah.
spots.
You think you could get a good feel of it in a weekend or a day, or you think it's got to be like
I don't think you can do it in a day. I mean, if you want to come to West Hampton for the day, you can have a great experience. I think it's going to leave you feeling like I wish it was longer and I have to come back.
that's like the perfect
But
trip?
well, yeah, but I think you can do. If I was going to do it and I had never been, I would do a long weekend. Come out on a Friday night, so you're going to dinner Friday night, and you have Saturday, Sunday, leave Monday morning. I think you can get a lot done in that time frame,
Right. Without, yeah, that's
and
without feeling.
without feeling like you're running through
Right.
everything. Where you actually get to take some time to sit by a pool or sit at the ocean and just kind of take it all in.
Right. So going back to like if you're a real estate agent or an entrepreneur, because you're an entrepreneur at the end of the day, and this podcast, you know, it's more anyone can listen to it. It's great, but it's not just real estate; it's entrepreneurs and you know people being seeking advice or inspiration. What would you what advice would you give someone that's starting a business or let's stick with the real estate. If someone was looking to get into the real estate game, what would you recommend? What would you
I think
suggest?
you should get in with somebody who's already established.
A
You
thousand
should try
percent.
to go be basically an intern. We don't have interns in real estate because you have to have your
Yeah.
license to do pretty much anything, but go to someone who has already figured it out and help them.
Did you do that?
Uh, no.
Yeah.
So I went to, and I say no with a little yes, no. I went to a mom and pop. They had a handful of agents, and I happened to know the owner of that company, and I was there for a little less than a year. That's where I started. And so that owner did help me and did throw some things my way, but I didn't join a team or a person, which I think is probably the way to go 99% of the time.
I agree with you 1,000%. I because it's speed, right? Like you're it's how fast you get there with the knowledge you obtain. Like the reason where you are, like this didn't happen overnight. Like it's trial and error
Right.
and figuring it out. If you could just speed up that process, you're golden. I mean, really. First you have to see if you
Yep.
like it, but I agree with you 1,000% on that. Like if you
Yeah.
have a mentor, join a team, whatever you can. I really feel like joining a team probably would be the best route, or having like a mentor is only going to give you so much, but if you're making them money too, it's even better, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's never enough time in the day, no matter what job you do, especially as an entrepreneur. So when you're in this career for a while, you have to decide when things are coming in, you have to prioritize them. And there is nothing that I feel like is beneath me. Last year, I sold a home. It was a land lease for $61,000. I'll do any, and I've sold $12 million
Right.
homes. I'll do anything you want. But sometimes you're just too busy. And when you have that person who says, let me help you, I'll do whatever you need, you can focus on things that need a little bit more attention and say, okay, this is a brand new lead. I don't know this person. Good luck. Good luck,
Right.
because I don't have the time to do this right now. So sink or swim. And that's helpful for their knowledge, trial and error, like you said, but it also helps them make money, me make money, if they can get that to the finish line.
Yeah. 1,000%. I feel like you gave a lot of good stuff that I'm gonna have to like chop it up and put it on my, you know what I mean? Put like short
I
clips.
know. You got to do it like a TED
It
talk,
is,
because
yeah.
there's no attention span.
Yeah, I might have
And
to have
I'm
you on
guilty of
again.
that too.
The
I'm
hat
totally.
so you're very, in my eyes, you're very successful. You have like as far as business goes and everything like that, you have it all figured out, and it seems like it's probably more of, do you feel like it's evolving, like your deals, there's more deals, more like, is it evolving, or you're kind of, what the question I have for you is, what does success, it doesn't have to be real estate or anything like that. I'm asking everyone that's on this show, but what does success mean to you?
That's I'll steal this from my dad. You work so that you can have free time. Success is having free time. You want to buy time. And if you are successful, you have time. You have time to go play tennis, play golf, be with your family, go have wine with your parents at night. Like, you have time. That's
Right.
success.
Very, yes. Before I wrap this up, where can someone contact you if they're looking to buy, rent, sell Westhampton Beach, or even just some, advice on where to go, you know?
If you're looking for me, you can always find me at ashleijfarrell.com, or on Instagram, Ashley J Farrell.
Okay. All right. So, well, thanks for, I know you're very, very busy, and I really appreciate you sharing your
All
insights. And
good.
I mean, it really was.
Thanks for thinking of me.
That's a wrap. I hope you like this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow so you don't miss any of the other episodes coming up. Until then, I'll see you next time.